Greetings and welcome to Modern Horizons 3 once again. Okay, well, this pack won't give me an energy card because I think my recorded drafts have been in the Jeskai colors, the last two ones. Alright, this is in fact a weak-ish pack. These passivism slash protective auras are okay, but I'm not that fond of first picking them. The Furnace Hellkite, you have to be kind of all in in the artifact deck to make this playable, and this often comes late. This can be a pick 9 easily. The same goes for the Mindless Conscription. This basically requires a blue-black deck where certain cards are open. So I'm taking the Abstruse Appropriation. It's a 4 mana instant that exiles any non-land, and then of course if you have some colorless mana, or if you just happen to exile the sort of card that you already have mana for, you can even cast it. So this can be a nice 2-for-1, and I just, assuming I will be getting to play this card in the deck, the correct colors being open, I just try to make sure I have some colorless mana production in the deck to make it so that I always can cast the exiled thing. Okay, so if I for some reason took the dragon, I would just take the Arcbound Condor in here. I could actually do it so that I take this now and assume the dragon to be a pick 9, but maybe someone opened some good black-red artifact synergy stuff, and then I won't be getting the pick 9 dragon. It would be kind of a waste. Another thing I could do is take the Mindless Conscription, because the previous pack had that one too. Or I can just take the Propagator Drone and try to do the Eldrazi. That's not often open. Or you can take one of these 2-drops that are good in their respective archetypes. I think I'm gonna try something wild, and I'm taking the Conscription. It's also, shares the color with this thing. So who knows, maybe I can make it work. So that I would get the second Conscription too, and then some card draw effects would seal the deal, but I can easily just abandon this. I could take here. Okay, this is a good pack. There's like a Spawn Gang Commander, which can be incredibly strong if you have a bunch of colorless productions. I don't think it suits that well with my previous pick, so I'm gonna not take it, because I could just take the Warren Soul Trader or the White Orchid Phantom, which are black and white cards. Decent rares. I think I like the Soul Trader a little bit more. The double white here makes it hard to cast on turn 2. I'll take the Soul Trader. Yep. Which will work also in the kind of a Mindless Conscription deck. But remember this thing, well, while it does create, of course, a 3-3 immediately, you do want to trigger it, further times in the game for it to actually be a worthy card to play. Now there is a way to trigger it. Brain Surge draws in fact 4 cards, so you can do it on your own turn, on your opponent's turn. However, there is also Wither and Bloom. So I could take the Brain Surge if I knew I'm going to get the other Mindless Conscription. But there's a chance I won't be getting it, and the Wither and Bloom is just going to be good in any kind of black deck. And I don't really want to commit to anything specific if I have. I mean, there's also like a Signature Slam you could take, but I'm taking the Wither and Bloom. It meets my previous picks quite nicely, and leaves the options open for various kind of things. There's also one card for the artifact deck in the refurbished Familiar here. Expanding Ooze, some of this colorless stuff is here. This thing, well, that's not the peak here. I'm actually thinking about the Eldrazi Ravager. Can it be like a black deck with some of this colorless stuff? I mean, without any other color, other than like the splashing colors. I don't know. Maybe I should take the Ooze here. Well, let's try something crazy. I'm taking the Ravager here right now. Oh, Mindless Conscription again. And this is not the same one yet that I saw earlier. By the way, green is open. There's a Nightshade Stride. If I took the green card or the green-black card in the previous pack, it would be easy to follow it up with the Nightshade. Right, there's still a Spawn Gang commander here as well. However, I'm taking the Conscription, and also I will take, these are now in the same pack, but the Eviscerator's Insight works very well with the Conscription, because if you cast this on your own turn, including a draw step, you have drawn 3 cards and you can trigger these. But I'm taking the uncommon and kind of hoping to get the last one too, the one I saw earlier, and try to do something funny with the Conscription. But I'm not even sure if that's good, but it's gonna be, let's say, different and interesting, and it's quite fun if it's gonna work, and I can make a good deck out of that, maybe. Right, Void Pouncer. There is like a white card. Yeah, I'm not sure about this. This might be just a splash for white. Stomp. Not a bad one. I don't like the Void Pouncer here. I'm just taking this thing. I mean, if I took the green cards, the Stomp would be so easy to pick. But I kind of passed too many of the green stuff, so I didn't want to move to that now. It is also a red card. And now there's a Pyretic Rebirth, but I'm actually taking the Mythic Rare. I'm trying to just complete the rares. It's, you know, it seems that my draft is going to be a little bit of a train wreck, so I'm actually taking a Mythic Rare to get something out of it. There is the Mindless Conscription, which I didn't, it's not a surprise it came back, but now I don't have any way to trigger it yet. So packs 2 and 3 have to, give me something. Team Inferior, it's a good blue card, and this is gonna be a blue-black card deck most likely. Okay, there's a Blood-Soaked Insight, which I wouldn't mind having, but with triple Conscription, I'm just taking the Gargantua. It's not the greatest thing. It's 5 mana and then it requires 3 to make it work. But at least if I can make it work, I will in fact get a trigger from the Conscriptions. So I look to be blue-black, maybe splashing for the white, so I'm taking, doesn't matter which one of these actually. White, blue, both of these are white, blue. Let's take this. Allows me to play the Appropriation. Well, this also allows me to splash. The Expanding Ooze being the last pick here is kind of funny. Okay, there's another abstruse Appropriation. There is also a Dreamtide Whale, and I kind of try to be blue and black. So I'm gonna play main color blue, somewhat likely. I'm just not sure if this even is that good in black-blue. Maybe this is better in blue-white and blue-red, perhaps. But I think I'll just take the Abstruse Appropriation, and now I will be splashing for it. So I have 2 of them. Breathe Your Last would be another choice here, but yeah, this is a good one now to have. I have definitely a strong reason to be splashing white. Alright, so I'm taking the Emperor of Bones because it's just a very good card. Even if it was just a 2-mana 2/2 with a 2-mana adapt ability, that's really good. Then you can sometimes bully your opponent with the exile ability, and of course the adapt can result in the trigger happening, and you can attack with a hasty big creature ideally. Anyway, it is just a good one to have. Nothing here draws me cards. There's some pretty good cards, Territory Color, Galvanic Discharge. Yep, but I'm taking the, still a very good card here in the Emperor of Bones. Alright, so now this is a difficult decision. There's a lot of good stuff for me, including even the Coming of Jealous Thirst, but I assume this might come back to me. I'm not taking this, but I could take the Edged Slith. I could take the Cartographer, which can, make me draw a bunch of cards. However, this is an easy way to trigger these Mindless Conscriptions. This requires to be a little bit lucky. However, this is also a 2-drop. Yeah, I'm taking this over the Slith because this is, I'm going to play blue here, and this is a defensive 2-drop, and sometimes you can draw the 3, and that's really strong, of course. Actually, I made a last-minute change because I just realized that in a black and blue deck you actually don't get energy that much. It's not that easy because black cards don't give you energy, whereas blue white and blue-red is great for the 1-3. I just had actually a deck, I didn't record it, which had 2 of those 1-3s. It was blue-red, and I always had the 6 energy available, and it was great when I was able to draw the 3 cards. But in this deck, actually, I would lean too much about on the landfall to produce me energy. Alright, here this is a really good pack because the Genku is amazing, but so is the Fel, the Profane. Even this is good. Jeez. I'm gonna splash for white. I'm gonna take this because I'm going to splash for white and I will be blue, even though it doesn't seem like I have too many blue cards. But now I'm actually getting a Brain Search. However, Chthonian Nightmare is really good too. Oh boy. But this Brain Search with triple Mindless Conscription seems too obvious of a pick. This is good. This combines very well with multiple things, but I'm actually just taking the Brain Search now. With triple Mindless Conscription, I'm doing that. Okay. I almost could play a Cephalic Collision, but still I hate the fact this always hurts you when you tap it for any kind of mana. Of course you cannot tap it only for blue, but there's no option to tap just for a colorless and not take damage. So I'm not taking that. Waterlogged Teachings can work. I actually think I'm just going to take the Perilous Landscape. More fixing for the... I don't like this card too much. I'm not going to have that many swamps. And yes, I know that Teachings would be also just a blue-black producing land, but the reason I took the Landscape is that I'm more interested in splashing, the lands that enable me white mana. And then the Genku is actually good when you sacrifice these fetch lands. Non-token permanent includes these lands. Okay, Sneaky Snacker is the easy pick. Yep, alright. There was actually a perfect land for me, the fetch land that gets black, blue, and white. But I took the very nice 2-drop, and I need 2-drops here in general. Alright, I'm taking the Shadow Spinner, of course. That's one other way to trigger the conscriptions. I think I still just take this Splash Enabler. I don't want to play 2 Fetid Gargantuars, it's quite expensive. I'm happy with the one I have. And here I could take the Essence Reliquary. Can I can, bounce Mindless Conscriptions and maybe something else here too. I'm not sure what... Does this say, by the way, leave the battlefield? Yeah, okay. Essence Reliquary is a good one here. And I'm splashing for white anyway. Alright, I got one of the Kami of Jealous Thirsts. It's good in this deck that tries to, draw those multiple cards. It's a defensive drop. I have a lot of 3 mana plays, of course, because of the triple Mindless Conscription, but I guess it's fine. I need some 2-drops. Oh, by the way, am I going to play the Ravager? Okay, I got one more lands that fixes for white, and also, I'm interested in the colorless production because of these double appropriations. About the Ravager, you can always just cycle this. And I have actually many lands that can just, allow me to cast it. That said, I won't have that many Eldrazi or any Eldrazi to return it to my hand, so it's like a 6 on a 6/6 with Annihilator 2 and Annihilator 1 and cycling 2. I'm not quite sure if that's what I'm interested in, but of course I don't have to make any decision about that quite yet. This isn't good. This is a fairly weak pack, in fact. I'm also almost just taking the sideboard card. I don't want to have another one of these. I actually take the sideboard card because this is a really good one. Really good one against the best archetype in the format, which I think the Eldrazi deck can easily be. I mean, I guess there can be some Dream Energy deck that could be even better, but you face Eldrazi decks much more than any other archetype, which means that it's good to be prepared for with high quality sideboard cards such as this. Right, so this draws only one card, which means it doesn't actually help me trigger the conscription. So the insight would be better than the tune the narrative. Do I want to play the Solar Transformer though, or the Glasswing Grace? Yeah, this actually is also gonna fix my mana if I really need to. This is gonna produce white, and it's a nice 5-drop. So I think I'm taking this thing now. How many non-lands I have? 20. Only 9 creatures, by the way. Yeah, I'm gonna have enough playables, that's for sure. And I by the way, put the Phyrexian Tower to my sideboard because I'm not going to sacrifice my creatures to add double black. It's not very good. Okay, what do we have in here? Too expensive. Okay, Serum Visionary. Yet another 3-drop, but it's definitely like the only card I'm actually interested in even having out of this bunch, so let's take this. Okay, what do we have in here? Nothing too amazing. I don't think I need another one of these lands. If this was the blue-black white land that fixes perfectly everything I have, I think I could pick it still. But I'm not gonna take one of these deceptive landscapes. I have 3 of them already. Serum Visionary, Kami of Jealous Thirst. Yeah, more 3-drops. Even this is mostly a 3-drop. And I have so few creatures that maybe I'm just taking the Visionary instead. I'll take the Visionary. And Kobe Krug is good. The Vampire is a 2-drop though. It doesn't really, fit the decks what it tries to do, but you still want to have 2-drops, and with the lifelink it can buy me some extra time. So even though I think the Kobe Krug is better, for mana curve reasons I'm taking the Vampire here. And here I have Petrifying Meddler, Solar Transformers going here. I think I like the Meddler just the most here. I'll take the Meddler. And this thing, no, not that amazing. Okay, another Shadow Spinner is definitely the pick. I have like okay, let's make it the third one. Now I have too many 3-drops, but it's just it is what it is. I'm not gonna not play triple Shadow Spinner with triple Mindless Conscription and the Serum Visionaries. I'm just gonna have a deck with an awkward mana curve, but let's see how much that's going to hurt me in the end. I have enough playables, I mean non-lands here, so I'm not gonna play a Scurrilous Sentry. Yeah, it will draw me 1 extra card per turn, but that's not by itself enough with the conscription, and I don't have room for this in general, so I'll take the Winter Moon because it is 20 gems. Okay, this I'm going to play. The landscape is unnecessary. I have enough ways to get the planes, so this is it. And what do we have in here? This is just a blocker. I mean, there might be a matchup where a 7-drop is something I'm gonna play. I can't cycle this, I don't think, but I don't need to know for that activate. Yeah, I don't think I have any activated abilities that's too good for it. Alright, how many 3-drops I have? Like all these 3 mana spells. Of course I'm gonna have to cut some of that. That's a pretty playable card. And I got one more land that fixes. It doesn't fix for white, but I guess it does for black and blue. Okay, this is... Okay, there's nothing in the sideboard I was intending to play in the main deck. There is this thing that's kind of a land. I won't be playing the Tusker in the main deck. There is a way to generate actually green mana with the Warren Soul Trader. However, I think I'm going to cut this because it doesn't do, I mean, I have so many 3s, and this is the least synergistic. Even though this is just a general nice card to have, but I'd rather have the other things instead of it. So the Tusker, of course, gonna be cut. I don't think the cycling matters too much. I know that if I have some effects that draw me 1 card, I can use it in combination with the cycling to, draw 2 cards in addition to the draw step. Like I can play a Serum Visionary, and then if I have 2 mana remaining, I can play cycle this thing, which would of course draw me 2 cards, and with my draw steps, it would allow this conscription trigger to happen. However, I think it's kind of a clumsy plan in general. I have the mana to cast this, with all these Are all of these the kind of lands I'm gonna play? Yeah, all of these are gonna produce at least, or not produce, but fetch me at least 2 different lands that I will be having in this deck. And I don't have to use this. I mean, if I have multiple of these, I might easily be able to leave one of them, as is, and then I can use the colorless production for the Ravager. But I just don't think there's any benefit from having this thing. Besides, Annihilator 1 is significantly different from Annihilator 2. I mean, of course, they are different numbers, but the thing is that Annihilator 2 is, after a couple of attacks, the opponent is gonna usually feel it. Whereas you can take several sacrifices with Annihilator 1. So it's not as impactful. I don't consider the part that says Annihilator 1 that great. It's a 6 mana 6/6 with cycling 2. Not really, anything to write home about. Alright. Yeah, the vampire here isn't gonna... It's here just to have a 2-drop. I have a fairly low amount of 2-drops. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is, and one of them is a removal spell, which I might not even have. I might not have a target for it. So this is... I mean, clearly blue wasn't that open. I didn't get any other copy of a Sneaky Snacker. But this is what I'm going to work with. I will cut the Warren Soul Trader. The Essence Reliquary. Well, now I have time to figure out if I want to play it, because I don't know if I... Well, first of all, it's not really a 3-drop. I'm going to have one of these other 3 mana spells on turn 3 most of the time. So it's like a later game drop, of course, when I can return stuff that benefits me. Like I can always return the Mindless Conscription and get Amas Zombies 3, and then I can bounce anything with Gengu on the battlefield. This says leaves the battlefield, so bouncing, exiling, anything works with this thing. So that's like 3 cards already that synergize well with the Reliquary. Then there is, well, I can bounce this when I have played it as a land earlier. I can bounce this to my hand, and then, because this, also bounces lands, so I can cast it as a spell later in the game. That's a minor thing. And the Meddler, if I have 5 extra mana, I can bounce this and recast it to get the stun counter again. So it's like almost good enough, but I don't think... Oh, there's also a double Serum Visionary. Well, that's... I don't know why I missed that, but that's also a nice thing to bounce. Also, I'm not going to play the Corrupted Shapeshifter in the main. I just don't need it. I'm gonna play the 5 drops and almost the 3. I'm gonna have like a turn 3 and turn 5. Turn 4 and turn 5. I'm just gonna play 1 3-drop and that's it. That's going to often be the way this deck is gonna play out, and it's not great, but I just don't really have an option. I'm not gonna play this kind of a mediocre 4-drop just to have a 4th drop on turn 4. I think most of my 3 mana spells I'd rather cast on turn 4 than the Corrupted Shapeshifter. So now this is 25. Still, I'm going to cut something, and the Essence Reliquary is the card I'm looking at here. Dim Inferior, I think I'm going to play because it is one of my few interactive spells, and I also have many ways to make this cost basically 1, and that's quite mana efficient when that happens. The actual question is, do I have time to fool around with this Essence Reliquary? Because I have a feeling that, because whenever I bounce something I need to recast it. It might not be a greatest idea to main deck this thing, because in some aggressive matchups this is not gonna be enough. So that's going to be cut. I will not cut anything more because I have this as a land. So as you can see, I will add 16 lands, but because I have the Glasswing Grace as my 17th land, that's fine. And a lot of these cards also draw me more cards. So, and I basically need 3 mana for most of the spells, and then I will of course when the game progresses, I will end up having enough mana to cast these few more expensive cards as well. So let's see what were the options here. So once per turn, you can, I mean, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Well, I don't think that's gonna matter too much. If I get triple trigger out of this thing, I'm very happy, even if I don't get the fourth one in the same turn. And then of course there's this very relevant 5 mana activation. Shouldn't forget about that. If there's like a board stall situation, you can just win with the Genku. Alright. It's a bit same, but usually when you have a Genku on the battlefield, that's already a good spot to be in if it doesn't get killed. So thinking about stuff like, yeah, it is really good to have a Genku and an Essence Reliquary at the same time. Usually that's can be even a little bit of a win more situation when Genku by itself is going to be enough. So I'm not gonna be too worried about cutting these. But there are other cards, of course, it synergizes with very well. The Mindless Conscriptions, for instance. And I can easily see sideboarding this in any kind of a slower matchup. But yeah, this is the deck without the lands here. So blue-black, that's fine. And I want to play all the fetches because of the Genku and this thing being interested in having access to colorless mana. So that's blue-black, that is white-blue. That is white, blue, and these are all white, black. So this is what, five lands that can fetch me a plains, which I'm gonna of course play here. And then there's the Glasswing Grace. That is for 3 white cards. There is in this format the one uncommon red card that can destroy any land. It would be, of course, a shame if the opponent somehow has it and destroys my one of plains and I cannot fetch another one. But I don't really have a reason to play 2 plains when I have all these lands to fetch this thing. I just hope the opponent doesn't blow this plains up. And I don't have any self-milling either, do I? I don't think I have any. There's not a lot of self-mill, so I don't accidentally get to mill it. No. I mean the plains. Alright, this is it for the plains, so that's like what, six ways to get white plus the Glasswing Grace, so that's actually 7. Now for black, I don't know how to do this, let's just do something like this. Okay, this is 3, 4, 5 for black, I would definitely need more, 6, 7, 8, 9 is the minimum. I have mostly black cards, well, a bunch of blue too. So this was 9. Let's go with the blue then. This is 1, 2, only 3 that add blue. 4, 5, 6, 7, well 8, I need to have the 8. So this is like 9 black, 8 blue and a lot of white still. Yeah, I have this Serum Visioners and the Brain Search. I want to, and of course the Horrid Shadow Spinner. I want to have access to blue early in the game, so this is gonna be the mana base, and that's the main deck. Okay, I have black. I have no blue, but I have a 2-drop card and a 3-drop card. 9 ways to get blue. I'm gonna keep it because I also have a lot of black cards in the deck, so I can draw also more black cards. So I don't necessarily need to draw blue source that early. I am going to get them. Let me see. Well, now that I didn't draw a land, I think I'm gonna play these just as a land, because I wanna play my 2-drop and I also want to play my 3-drop without having any tapped lands, you know, interfering. Okay, so this goes to graveyard. Okay, they're gonna get it back. That's quite a sweet thing to combine. Oh, they actually, yeah, they chose the Molten Gatekeeper. So Eldrazi, surprise. I haven't actually drafted the Eldrazi deck myself, because whenever I see something good for it, and there are a lot of good cards to start drafting it, by midway pack 1 it's kind of clear that Eldrazi is just not open, and I don't want to force Eldrazi deck if I have some sweet other archetype being passed to me. But I'm playing against Eldrazi so often, so people definitely draft it much more than I. There's the blue source. So how do I conveniently do it here? I think I'm just so let's see, if I attack now, make this thing go away. Let's see. I kind of want to play the Shadow Spinner on the next turn. I don't know though, it's a 2-3, it won't probably be able to attack into this board anymore. I'm just wanting to actually fetch the blue here, because if I now play at this Kami, I don't really have that great stuff on the next turn. I mean, I guess I'll just I'm going to just attack here. And I know I could, you know, make it have menace, but if they double block, I still can only kill the 2-3. They even chose to, you know, not block. A little bit surprised about that, but I'm actually happy, because now I can maybe get another 3 life from this thing. Anyway, this is gonna be a island. I'm gonna show it to the opponent immediately. I just don't want to click through my priorities when I have the fetch land here. So yeah, I said the Annihilator 1 won't matter too much, but the opponent, well, they need to sacrifice, of course, 2 Eldrazi before they can even put it in their hand, so it's still in the graveyard. And then they have to cast it. But let's see, there's many ways to get these spawns, for instance. So getting it to hand won't be a big deal. And of course there are many ways to get colorless mana production too, so I might have to deal with the Ravager somehow. After saying that the Annihilator 1 isn't a big deal, it is a big deal if they get it like on turn 5. So that they can attack on turn 6. I do have a Death Toucher and can at least trade with it, but of course this thing keeps coming back. For when your deck supports it. My deck of course couldn't keep it coming back. Alright, they used the removal spell on this thing, which is fine. Ooh, there's a Mindless Conscription. That is now... I mean, I'm gonna go for the Shadow Spinner, of course, and hopefully I can hopefully this thing has an attack on the next turn, but it's incredibly unlikely, of course. I'm not going to fetch any land, by the way, because I have the white-red rares that, you know, require, you know, white mana to do something. Nesting Grounds, move a counter. Okay, how many counters are they gonna have? Alright, there's the Fleshraker. I don't like that one bit. But the good news is I actually have an attack. So I'm going to be having a 6/6 zombie. Assuming they don't have like a removal spell still on the Shadow Spinner. Oh, they are down. Please don't hover over. Just read it. No, Signature Slam. This is... I mean, the dream was to cast this and then attack to draw 2. You know, when they have a 2-3 and a 2-2, I could attack into it. Either they double block and I get to trade with this thing, or they just it just bounces off the Gatekeeper. Oh boy. Oh, this is interesting. This is interesting. Because what I can do, which feels like a waste, but I can do, I can play the Mindless Conscription, and then because I have 5 mana here, 2 of them can produce black, I can sack the token to draw 2 cards, and then it will actually also amass 3, so I will get a new token, but then that means I won't have a 6/6, and I kind of need a 6/6. So what I'm doing here, I'm just going to play another one of these guys. Now if they remove this, I can actually respond with the inside, so there's at least that. But of course, if they leave this to block, then I don't have a good attack with this. But one thing at a time. I do have a dim inferior here as well. It is a sorcery though. Wait a minute, they have another one of those. No, they have multiple. Okay. Okay, I'm getting beat by these things, because with the Fleshraker they even got a free spawn to make this make these things, to sacrifice them to keep these coming back, and I can't take the Annihilator here. So what I need to do now, I need to draw the white black rare. I have 2 of them. I know I can also play the Dim Inferior, but that's just delaying the inevitable. I guess I could have blocked and drawn cards, but I'm not gonna do it now. Let's see. Come on. That's not it. So. Yeah, it's kind of sad that. Yeah, this being a sorcery is going to hurt me. Because I could attack, if it was an instant, I could attack, of course, draw the 2, and then this would be a 1-mana card. Because I can't now cast... let's see... I think I just have to face the fact that I cannot attack with this thing. I mean, I guess I can, but I have to still sacrifice this. But let's first do this. I'm gonna have to do this first. No, I don't even... Yeah, no, I actually need to draw a... I somehow miscounted. I thought I would be able to cast the Dim Inferior and the Inside. Now it actually won't happen unless I draw specifically an island. I don't have that many islands in the deck. Wow. Well, I'm gonna try. They will... I mean, I'm gonna sack this thing anyway with the Eviscerators inside, and that will amass me more to zombies, of course. Well, no, actually I get to amass already there with this draw. Can I get something at instant speed? No, don't know. Another one of those. I need... yeah, this is not enough actually, because I need an island specifically. Which means that I'm going to sack... I mean, discard a swamp and... I guess I'm gonna just... I don't want to lose my Death Touchers when I actually can use them to block these things. But the Mindless Conscription is... well, actually I can have a 9/9 this turn. Alright, I'm going to do this... yeah, I'm gonna do this discarding. I don't know. I guess I still have to do the inside to kind of not lose this for nothing. I guess it will gain me 2 life. But yeah, I already discarded the swamp, so I cannot cast this. If I would be able to do that, this would be a 9/9, of course. Well, anyway, let's make them block, and maybe they don't block. I mean, they have to block with the 6/6. Yeah. So this is no longer gonna amass me anything. Ah, those Ravagers. Come on, blue. I mean, island. I need an island in here. That's not an island. This is a good one, though. But... I have to sacrifice something for the Annihilator. I'm also taking a lot of damage here, but they can attack with everything. Okay. Just, they had the nuts there. I mean, they had the interaction, 2 horrific assaults and the signature slam, so everything I had tried to do got killed, and they had the 6/6s and all that. But that's the Eldrazi deck. I at least have a sideboard card for that deck. And this thing also exiles. I can get rid of these things for good. But the fact they have 2 of these is kind of annoying. it's much better in their deck than in mine, because I don't have the Eldrazi to sack. Okay, what is the least needed card in here? It actually is gonna be the Dream Drinker Vampire. That's the least useful one. It doesn't do anything. I don't need the 2-drops because it's just gonna be outclassed so quickly. So let's do this. Okay. So I don't. I'm actually gonna fetch the swamp now. I know I might need the colorless at some point, but I also don't want to draw the swamps before. I mean, well, I guess I can always leave this. If I don't have any lands left in the deck to fetch, I can always leave this as a colorless producer. But I know I'm gonna need 2 swamps, so I might as well do that right now. Alright, so I don't know if I want to counter the first colorless spell they're gonna play, because on turn 4 I will... Because next turn I'm quite likely to play the Serum Visionary, and then turn 4 I can... Yeah... They can adapt it and all. I'm gonna wait with this. They have much better things to counter. Draw a card and then I will... there's another blue. I don't know if I need it though. The replicate cost is colorless, not blue. Emperor of Bones. Oh, this can actually exile the annoying stuff I saw there. So I'm gonna keep the bones here, and it will also just become a 4 for fairly cheap. Do I have any double blue in the deck? I don't think I do, so let's not draw another land. Plus, I have a Serum Visionary here too, which can, you know, help me draw more relevant things. Even a second island if I really need to. Okay, there's a drone. That's not good for me at all. They didn't attack first, by the way, which is interesting because they had the threat of activation. I didn't have a block. Okay. They actually... That's so good for me. I mean, why would they use a horrific assault on a random 2/2 that already did its thing? That is really odd. However, now what I'm going to do here is... the Kami is actually good blocker in here. So maybe the Kami... No, it's gonna be this. Oh yeah, it is a quick. Okay, if I play the Serum Visionary, I don't have mana for the consign. They could have a Brighting Chrysalis here, so I'm of course going to be... I can counter the Chrysalis, but I don't have to replicate mana. Oh well. So the cast trigger will resolve. There is the Brighting Chrysalis, so they will resolve this thing. Sadly, I can't replicate this, but at least I got rid of the, you know, the bigger threat here. Well, it's still not great. These things have evolve, so the opponent just had a very good start looking at what their, you know, turn 2, turn 3, and turn 4. Just perfect. Just perfect. They managed for some reason to draft this great Eldrazi deck. I haven't been able to do that. I mean, just getting one of these is gonna be difficult in a draft. Alright. Emperor of Bones. Yeah, I really hate to see this. I mean, this is gonna pump these. These tokens will be very big very soon. But... I'm wondering if I should leave the Insight mana up. I don't think I'm gonna do that. I will just first do like this. This thing can pump more of these spawns too. So if the game goes somehow long, they will just beat me. Do I want to have the island here? I have a blue card in here, and this cannot fetch an island. Nope. I don't kind of want to draw more lands when I have 2 in my hand, so let's just take the Dim Inferior here. And now I'm going to play the Emperor of Bones, get rid of the Chrysalis. So once this gets a counter, like from the adaptability, is I think my only chance. I can put a creature card exiled with this thing on the battlefield. Finally the counter, it gains haste. But of course it doesn't get me the, the cast trigger, so it's not that great. But I'm just rather take it away from the graveyard than leave it there, if they have some kind of means to get it back. They have 3 cards in the hand, so they have spells to cast, probably rather than make more of those spawns. But I need to do some damage. Okay, they actually go for that. Well, they have, of course, what, 6 mana still left for whatever they might choose to do. I'm really happy they did use the Horrific Assault there for my pretty useless 2/2. Yeah, I'll take the 3 here. I get some free activations with the Kami of Jealous Thirst if I can resolve an Eviscerator's Insight on my own turn. I can easily just, sacrifice the Serum Visionary. Okay, yeah, I kind of forgot they have this thing too. They can keep adapting this. Yeah, Nesting Grounds works very well with adapters. Alright, so... well, I guess I'm going to attack with my... guys, because they are not going to block the Emperor here. Because I have the threat of activation. I mean, if they block with the drone, they would lose the drone. So they just don't block it at all. Okay, that opponent, why are you wasting time here? There's nothing... Do you want to respond to me using this exile of the land? Do I have to pause the recording? Maybe I do have to pause the recording. No, finally they... let me attack. Alright, I'm gonna do this because I know I'm not the one who's winning the race, but I'm going to sack the Serum Visionary here, most likely. Oh, are they gonna... What? Oh, so they have a army. Are they gonna have an instant speed interaction? No, they're not gonna do anything of the sort. Alright, so... let's see what I draw here. I don't think I need to leave the white mana up right now. Or the fetch land. Actually, this is... I don't need to leave that up. I'm not gonna fetch anything. So let's do this. And I get to... Assuming they don't kill the Kami in response, I get to use it. Gargantua is there. Right. So... I can't play this Dim Inferior and the Horrid Shadow Spinner because of only 1 blue mana here. I guess I can use the landscape to fetch it. So did I play a land this turn? Oh yeah. Basically was no reason to do that. I could have played the Perilous Landscape and fetch with it. But yeah, let's do this. Yeah, the amount of cards in their hand is scary, and these things all pick up counters because of the evolve ability from the drone. So I think that's gonna be quite And then they are just doing this thing, which is still gonna work for them quite okay. Definitely taking the damage in here. Do they make the drone into a 3-3? Because then I couldn't attack with the Shadow Spinner. Although in that case I probably will just deem inferior. Because of course if I attack with this thing, I get to draw extra cards and allowing me to use the Kami of Jealous Thirst. Okay, well now that's pretty clear what I'm gonna do with the Deem Inferior. It will cost 3 though, because I have to do it pre-combat. Well, there's no like mana efficient way to do these things. Fine. Let's just do it like this. I don't think I'm really, progressing that much here, but I'm doing a little bit here. And now I can just attack with everything. I try to raise because I do have the Kami of Jealous Thirst. And let's see what this is gonna bring me. Okay, Mindless Conscription is good. Now I guess I'm just gonna play that post-combat. That's the only thing I can play actually. Yeah, this is fine. Did they put it on the... Okay, they didn't put it second from the top. They take some damage here and then I can do this. And I can conscript some zombies here. Alright. It doesn't seem it's easy, but because the moment they kill the Kami, I don't have a reliable way to make their life total go away. And they're gonna play something big, something huge here. The amount of mana they have is a lot. Well, there's the Ravager. Can I get one of my rares? Because I have drawn half the cards in my deck, and I could just exile the Ravager if I drew it. That allows me double activation of the Kamis. Maybe I can actually beat the opponent here by sacrificing this thing. Then I can play the other one and this one, and not the worst idea necessarily. This will also be a 6-6. Well, they will jump block it. They will jump block it, but that's better than not. I mean, there's no reason not to attack with this attack. I can take the damage from there. Alright. Yeah, I think this is easy. This is going to be easy. Up to... I don't need to exile anything from my own graveyard. I guess I can attack with the Emperor of Bones as well. No, they can eat the Shadow Spinner with the Brood Scale. This is fine. I might actually win with the Kamis, now that I have 2 of them. As long as they don't have a means to gain life. Which they might have, of course, but... Okay, well... I'm gonna play the Kami. I don't need the island. I kinda want to play the Mindless Conscription too, but maybe it is unnecessary. I think I don't need the Gargantua, it's too expensive, so these go away. I get to amass 3. This doesn't have trample, won't gain trample, so it's kinda useless in the sense. But maybe it matters that they will lose 1 token per turn. He's kind of funny with the Kamis here. I'm almost winning on the next turn with both Kamis. They will go to 2. Actually, I will be winning because I get the... well, let's see first what happens, but I have a means to win because I can use mana activation on their turn. Assuming this Shadow Spinner can attack, you know, then I have 3 activations on my turn, but you know, this might die or something. I'm not going to worry about plan around things that don't matter. Alright, they have 2 nesting grounds here, so they are really going with that plan. I guess it makes some sense because they seem to be just a red-green deck, so they can afford those. They have some mana fixing here anyway, so... And these Eldrazi, some of them require specifically colorless mana, which these things can produce. But yeah, if they attack, I will just, you know, sacrifice something. It doesn't really matter. Maybe even the Emperor of Bones. Okay, now please don't be the one that gains them life based on the colorless permanents. But now this is something crazy. I mean, they wouldn't sacrifice that for fun. So I guess this is it. We'll see some Eldrazi shenanigans here now. If they for some reason... Okay, well that's actually not doing anything. What? They have to have a kill on a Kami of Jealous Thirst. Okay, why did they even show that they have this thing? I mean, it's not gonna really affect what I'm doing, but there's no reason to show that. So the point is, assuming that they didn't have any interaction here, so what I'm gonna do, I can just attack with the Shadow Spinner, and then it doesn't cost any mana to activate these. They go to 2. Then I pass the turn, because these are once per turn activations. I pass the turn, and in their upkeep, I use 5 mana, and they go to 0. Actually, there's even another chance I could do this on their turn. No, sorry, that doesn't work. If you cast this on their turn, I have only drawn 2 cards, so this wouldn't be free. Anyway, it goes to game 3. Did I see something that I want to... I want to play one of these in the next game. That might help to get rid of some of the problems I'm seeing. But it was funny to win, basically only because of the Kami of Jealous Thirsts and the synergy I had. The mindless conscription didn't really matter there much at all. The O12 is actually a good blocker, but not on the Annihilators, which I have to trade with. Yeah, I think I'm going to play all the stuff in here, so let's move on. Okay, I have a good hand. The opponent mulligan to 6. I have a 2-drop, which is not common in this deck, which doesn't have a lot of 2-drops. And okay, they kept 6, and I have these sweet 3-drops. Well, in the sense that it's nice to have the options for any of them. And of course, the Emperor, I can maybe deal some early damage with the Emperor because I have the threat of activation. I don't need to use the mana to adapt. So this threatens to be a 4/4. Okay, this could also be a card that allows me to win if they don't have a reach creature. Like, you know, especially with the big zombies. I can make like a 15/15 zombie or something. Make it fly. And that's it. So no 2-drop from them. Doesn't mean that this can necessarily attack. Although this threatens to be a 4/4. But yeah, they are not going to block with that. Oh, what a sweet one to have, because that's gonna be nice with the conscription. Let's do this, and let's see if they're gonna just... They're gonna make me waste my time by blocking here. It's not the worst idea, but I'm happy they did not. Now, is it going to be a Shadow Spinner? Yes, it's possible they are going to just have something that can block this, and then I don't have a good attack. Please don't be a Writhing Chrysalis, because that also has reach and this becomes worse. Okay, another gatekeeper does mean that they can double block this guy and I will lose it. Is it worth losing it to get the trigger? Basically this is gonna trade into extra counters on the Mindless Conscription. Or maybe they just kill it. No, actually not. They cannot kill it with the 1 mana sorcery they have. They can kill the Emperor of Bones though. Oh, they attack. This is great. This means they have the, they want me to block and then they can finish this off, but this is actually horrible for them, assuming they have nothing else for the green. This means they have your creature deals 2 damage to something. I guess they're gonna deal with the Emperor of Bones. They didn't even do that. But this is just too good, because now I can have an attack with the Shadow Spinner so that it doesn't even die, and I have a 6/6 coming up. Alright. And they didn't have a Writhing Chrysalis. I don't know why I played the land, because I might have wanted to discard it, but okay. I'm gonna discard this land. I don't need the blue. Red-green doesn't deal with big creatures that easily. The Mindless Conscriptions are just gonna produce me a huge token. Unless they have like a Death Toucher and a Bite spell. Call me crazy, but I'm gonna actually discard this thing. This is a backup trigger producer for the zombie armies. These are gonna amass into yeah, okay, this is great. I'll discard those. I gain 2 life. And now I can just attack with a very huge thing there. Actually, when I play the Mindless Conscription here, this becomes 9/9. Then, okay, but they can have, of course, infinite jump blockers. That's always a problem, because I will have only one attacker. And that's it. As long as they don't have a reach creature, I can actually win with Glasswing Grace here quite easily. Okay, now I'm not going to play the land right away. I will play this though. That's a 9/9. It will be a 15/15. So potentially I'm winning on the next turn with the Glasswing Grace. I can actually threaten. Okay, I'm probably gonna discard the stuff I draw now, because I'm thinking about attacking with this thing too, threatening because they want to double block the Shadow Spinner, and this can attack for 4 then. Okay, I'm doing this. I can discard the stuff I draw. Nope. So both of these Amass triggers will happen. Oh, there is that, but I don't even have the white mana and I'm not gonna play this as a land, so get rid of these things. Is that really what I mean, maybe I don't need this conscription. That's also because I might need, if they have a reach creature, I might need this exile effect. Okay. I might also lose this. I mean, I guess I could. Maybe a third Mindless Conscription seems a little unnecessary. Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna have a backup appropriation here. This is gonna be a 15/15 now. I don't need it to become an 18/18. Yeah, they have to jump block that thing. This is actually one that can produce them jump blockers. Okay, what's this? Some trick there maybe. The Shadow Spinner is still alive here. And they just lost their... Right. Well, I don't know what's going on, but are they gonna be able to deal with the 15/15? They need a Death Touch and Bite. That's way too small. Besides, I just win now because I can make it fly. I guess I won't yeah, I would win because yeah, that was great. Yeah, because this, now that this is alive, this actually becomes a 21-21 with the double conscription. So it would be a 23 power in the air. Okay, well, my deck did the thing at least. Oh, I have a Genku in the deck. I just forgot it. Well, this is a very good hand. I can keep it. And this can fetch me the planes. Oh, that's a slight mistake. I have actually a blue-black 2-drop 1 in the deck. So it would have been better to maybe play just an island or a swamp there, but let's see if I get punished. Alright, Dramander. I want to leave, of course, all the remaining lands uncracked until I have this on the battlefield. So I'm not gonna fetch anything for now. I can just play the landscape. Oh, actually, I will be conscripting. Ooh, Teramanders. Black red, so no Eldrazi. That's nice. I'll have my 3/3. No means to make it to increase this creature yet. But these things, by the way, can only block flyers, so it's a race. But if they play like 2 artifacts now, I'll be in trouble. This can make 1/2 flyers. Alright, I have to discard. I have an island to discard, so that's fine. Okay, they have had a good start for sure. That's amazing. That is amazing, actually. Yeah, that's really good against what they have. Although these will be 5/5s when they adapt, so it can't. But I can stun and, well, in the meanwhile, I can have the Genku. Now they have to have removal on this thing, or it will be extremely awkward for them. And I played the land. Well, you know what? It's not the end of the world now, because I was supposed to play the island and Genku, but I still had to play. I mean, that was a mistake. I'm not gonna say anything else. However, now I'm guaranteed to get one trigger out of this. That is gonna matter a little bit, because I can now play the Genku and crack a land, and I think I'll just play the Meddler now. Oh, that's going to. All right, so now we have suddenly a lot here to consider. Because I was thinking just about playing the Meddler to stun this guy. They might. Okay, they have 7 mana. Okay, they can adapt to one of those. So I'm definitely stunning the. No, but whichever I stun will not be adapted, so that's not so great. But I'm actually facing here now. So this has adapt 7 minus 3, so they can make a. They can have a ton of flyers right now. So Moonfolk with flying. Alright. Oh. This is not gonna be good enough right now. I am going to offer the trade, which they are not gonna take, but I mean, the Kami will be okay, but I don't really think they're gonna block with their 3/2. Now, yeah, I'm gonna want to have these around regardless, and I guess I'm going to tap the Skyclaw, yes, and stun it, because if they remove this, then they don't have mana for the adapt ability. So now at least I can. They can attack with both Teramanders here actually. But I can also start raising now. And we'll see what they do with the mana. I'm not going to block here because they can just eat the Meddler. I can, actually raise here thanks to the Genku here. Because if I draw, by the way, a land here, an untapped land, that would be good too. Now this is amazing as well. Okay. Wow, there's so much going on here now. First of all, I can make this into a 3-3 mid. I almost actually have a win here, but just almost. If I drew a land, now yeah, they have to block with this thing. Okay. Yeah, the Meddler cannot attack right now. I can use just this thing, and then it's probably going to be... Okay, let's do... If I attack with everything, they're gonna just jump the Meddler. Of course they are. And then even if I can make this into 6/6, 6 plus 1 is 7 plus this activation, which would be free after I cast this, sacking the Meddler, which will be blocked. Or they might even jump block this. Yeah, it's just this is gonna have to happen like this, and then I have to, you know, I think what I have to do is exile this Pteramandra, and I can cast it because I can block with it. I can cast it with the colorless mana. It is a 1 mana spell. So that is what I'm gonna do. I have now 2 blockers for their stuff. This is hopefully going to be enough, and next turn I can probably threaten winning here. Now this also is going to cost a lot more to use. Okay. My blocks are pretty... I mean, they might have +3, +2, for instance. I'm going to block the biggest things here. Okay, they are not going to... Interesting. If they're gonna attack with that, I'll just snap double block. It's going to cost now 5 mana. Yeah, snap double block here. Because this being a 5/5 still dies now, because I can deal 5 in here. They lose their turn here. Actually it cost... Oh, I miscounted the mana all the time. It's other. It's 7 mana adapt, and gets cheaper for other artifacts. I counted all the artifacts including itself. Now that was just a great for me. I mean, I traded their turn and my thing on their most, you know, threatening stuff they are having. Here I can just threaten a victory of some kind, so I'm going to go with this. No point attacking with the Pteramandra, although if they block the Pteramandra with the... No, I want to have it as a potential blocker, so let's see what they do here when I make these attacks. They might block the Kami here, and now that they don't, I think I am winning. So this is... I can sack the Pteramandra, and this will trigger the Amas. This is 6. 7. This is exact 6, because then I can activate this for free. Yeah. They didn't see that one coming. Alright. Well, I'm at least happy that I am doing the Dex thing, you know, multiple things that care about drawing 3 cards, and I have won games due to that. Although here now finally I drew an appropriation, and that was very critical. The opponent's start here was incredibly good, but I was able to withstand. Now there's no triggered abilities. It doesn't counter activated abilities. It's of course not a strictly better stifle. No colorless spells here, so that's not going to be played. And the remaining stuff I have is... This is way too slow in this matchup, for sure. Alright, I'm gonna have the same deck. Well, that's a mulligan. 1 lander. No blue here, but I have a 2-drop, 2-drop. Okay, this is actually pretty good. I'm almost thinking about ditching the Shadow Spinner. Although based on what I saw, I think a 2-3 lifelinker can attack well even later on. But I can cast all these. This also has lifelink. Yeah, it's gonna be the 3-drop. I have a lot of 3-drops I can just draw anyway, so please don't start with those all the time. This can't get the island, so let's just do this. So am I going to play the Emperor of Bones or the Vampire first? Is it gonna be a double Pteramandra start? Something on turn 2, nothing on turn 2. Well, now I'm very happy I ditched one of these from the starting hand. They might have a removal spell. I guess I'm gonna just start with I'm gonna start with the lifelinker. This might be a little bit better later on. Okay, they had nothing on turn 2. Well, that's good news. And I can of course raise nicely with the lifelinker, so they have to use a card to deal with it. This cannot block it. Familiar makes me discard. Well, it's still gonna be a 3-drop. I don't have mana for it. I'm not gonna ditch my land here. I wanna hit my land drops. I got 2 of those guys after choosing to not keep them in my hand. That's good. So, is this going to be a Wither and Bloom thing? Is this gonna be just I'm actually fairly happy just making the trade here happen. Because it makes this thing adapt cost more expensive, although I do have the Wither and Bloom for it in the end, but I might have other targets for this removal too. So let's trade, because I can then just play the Emperor of Bones, I'm guessing here. Yeah, I don't wanna start a race. I will, so that they have 3 power in the air. Okay, they even decided that they want to keep raising. I might be faced with another discard spell, and I think I'll just get rid of the Shadow Spinner. I'm not going to miss making a land drop now that you know, I have this card draw effect here as well. I don't care about the Emperor dying. Actually, I'd rather have the Vampire around, and the opponent agrees with that assessment. Okay, so no to racing here. Sadly, I didn't have these 2 respond with. Well, opponent has pretty good one here. Alright, that's... Bah. I'm not gonna want to play this, because this might be needed in the later game. I'm gonna take the damage here, because I think I still need to kill this over this. I just wanna see what they play. Okay, because I was willing to take the 1 damage. Sure, this would be able to adapt very soon, so let's do that. And then I am not going to draw my... So I had to mulligan, and then I'm unlucky with the land draws, because I just need the blue for this thing to actually do something. I don't want to sack this, because I have the things that, you know, ask about having colorless mana. Yeah, sure. Well, not even sure what I'm supposed to do here, because... I mean, let me see. I'm gonna draw the Islander immediately, am I? Of course the opponent's deck is good, but this is also... The fact they had Double Fang, the Flamister, is annoying. Okay, that helps now. I can exile a refurbished familiar while... then I can cast it and make them discard a card and block this thing, of course. Now I cannot take any extra damage, I have to go for this. Hopefully they don't have a Eviscerator's Insight. If they also have Eviscerator's Insight here, then it's just a fine. Okay. Let's try to... Well, I will be on the play now. I'll just need to have a better start here. I think I paused the video in a weird step. I'm not sure, but hopefully I didn't cut accidentally any content. I kind of missed where I was, whether the video was paused or not. So hopefully it was all fine. At least now it's recording. Let's keep this. It's a fine hand to have, and this can be key in here. I'm not gonna play it tapped because I can play these things. I don't have either of the white spells yet, so I think I will start with this because I can draw the 1 blue black 2-drop also. Okay, they didn't have a Teramander here. That's really good. Or what is them? Well, that's not good. It's actually gonna eat my... Well, I have here a play to make, of course. But, I mean, this is gonna eat the counters from the Mindless Conscription. Yeah, I can take the Death Butcher. So I'll have 2 Visionaries here on the next turn, hopefully enabling me to double block. But this can just... yeah, I might need to draw my removal for that thing. Sure, I knew it's gonna happen here. So at some point I might draw, 3 cards. And this comes back for free. I think I have to count on that. But man, this Leith, I was really happy to just play this 3-3 and start the race, but this Leith made it so that it's impossible idea. So I might still have to discard, and I'd rather discard an island. But let's play this first. I might need to get the planes if I draw the Oscry into the one of the removal spells. So let's actually do this and leave the land. Leave the land as crackable. Well, Wither and Bloom is good. The Vampire is good too. I think I can... Yeah, the Lifelinker can be nice. Let's do this. Of course, I'm not gonna crack anything right now because the top of the deck is something I wanna have. So they might kill one of the Visionaries now, so that they can attack with this thing. But then I can -3/-3 it. That's that. This is the opponent has really, I mean, the stats and the cards in their deck. This is a really good artifact deck, and I'm at least happy I'm not playing around. Oh, I forgot they can do that. I wish now that it was the deal 4 damage thing, because then this would only be a 3/3 and I would be able to kill it in fact. Well, I have a Death Toucher on it, so this is still like okay-ish, because I can play this thing and then have the Wither and Bloom up. But man, if they have another removable spell, now they have like the deal 4 damage in exile. I guess I can just concede, because if you can't deal with an edged Leith on turn 2 by either having removal or a successful double block on it, you just lose the game, because I cannot do anything to this Leith now. Okay, they had no removal, so I think I am in the game a little bit at least. I'll take the 2 now, because I'm not sure if this is the card I would need to deal with. Alright. Okay, my only chance is to actually... I'm gonna shuffle the deck now. I need to find the exile stuff. I need to find one of the 2 things that can exile this. That actually works for a while. So there is that. I won't be drawing any more cards, so this is gonna... The best I can do is 3 mana. Yeah, the Glasswing Grace isn't going to help now too much. I will be playing the Mindless Conscription because now that I have 3 blockers, them having 1 removal isn't going to matter. If they kill the Death Toucher, I have 5 power to deal with their Slith, and if they kill someone else than the Death Toucher, any double block will be lethal for this thing. So I think this is doable. They of course are gonna draw this thing again, so I still need to find one of the 2 things that can permanently exile it and even allow me to cast it. That would be nice. But I think I'm like 2 out of... Yeah, one of the 2 things needs to be in like a top 3 cards or so. They have more flyers. I guess I can just Glasswing Grace here and hope they don't have any removal. That will stop their attacks. I mean, depending on what's in their hand and what their top decks are after the Silkengar and what my top decks are, there's still a chance. Brain Surge is going to do a lot of good stuff. It will amass. It will allow me to get a free activation for this thing. And I can even do it on their turn. But now the question is, am I supposed to start racing here? It seems a little bit brave. Do I benefit from having a surprise 6/6? I actually do not. So let's do this now. This will give me information as well. I don't think I need to necessarily leave the white mana. Although I might have... Yeah, I think I should. Because if I'm lucky, I can draw one of the 4 mana spells and an untapped land. And then I can play to exile that. Oh, Genku is here, I kind of forgot. It is really good, of course. This is gonna amass some stuff too on the next turn. Okay, what am I gonna do this turn? Probably... options being like a Genku. Yeah, I'm not going to play the Grace right now. I will draw this, of course. And then I will need to land here probably. With the Bloom I can... I think the Shadow Spinner isn't gonna be needed right now. So these go... I will... I'll draw the Glasswing Grace before the other thing. And now I can activate the Kami of Jealous Thirst. Oh, I forgot I have this in my graveyard. That's actually quite nice. I totally forgot it. Now I will be playing Genku rather than... I'm thinking about the attack though. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it to start the race. Because I will have enough here. Yeah, I think this is... It's a little bit risky, but it's not the most... Because the Slith attack will be coming now. I will remember this, don't worry. Also the highlight usually kind of shows it. Even if you would otherwise forget. It's not gonna pass the turn because this will still be up here. Now, I am at 12, so I don't think I'm dying. And this being... Are they gonna... Yeah, they can't really expect this Glasswing Grace happening. So this is actually going to be... Ooh, this could be huge. I mean, they have to... Assuming the 1 red mana they have available isn't going to help them, they actually have to jump block with Silgengar, and I'm getting a ton of life here because I have 7 mana. I have this plus the Eviscerator's Insight here. This is gonna be an 11/11 trampler, not trampler, lifelinking flyer. And then I can use this for free. So they actually have to jump block that thing. And the best thing is they don't even know that because I have the Insight in my hand. Let's not misclick this one. That would be horrible. 1 red mana shouldn't deal with the 6/6 here. I'm actually very, very close to winning here. I mean, they can jump block it, but I will be at 14 life. That's no big deal if they jump block. I mean, do they have a winning game plan if they jump block? They know they are losing to an Eviscerator's Insight, but can they win the game otherwise? Alright, so do this. Sack the Visionary. Oh, they can have the red spell. Let's take a flyer. They can have the red spell that kills the Kami of Jealous Thirst right now. That's the only thing that is gonna help them now. This is gonna deal 11, and yeah, this works now. 11 to them. And then 2 life loss. Alright. Zombie armies. What a match. Okay, on the play against the final boss. Well, only 2 lands, but I have both blue and black and 2 mana, 2 mana, 2 mana spells, and then yeah, if I draw 1 land I can cast everything. And in the meanwhile I have 3 castables, so... I know, by the way, you could have not fetched the land here. In case I draw an island, maybe I want to fetch plains, but I also want to have, you know, my tapped land now, because I might need the blue on turn 3 immediately. So I want to have the island on the battlefield. If I happen to draw plains, I like the lifelinker here. If I happen to draw one of my white spells, you know, the exile spells, I'm just happy to have them. I have plenty of time to find a way to get the white mana. I again played the vampire here first because it's more relevant to get to connect with the lifelinker early in the game, and if they have removal, this is gonna be more relevant later in the game, so I'd rather them remove this thing. Okay, they have only 1 white mana left, so I can connect here for free, and I now, thanks to using this on turn 1, I actually can make this happen now. And Wither Bloom allows me to actually connect with these guys, quite likely. I'm assuming some kind of Eldrazi business here. Okay, well... please, no, please. I mean, I have a Wither Bloom, but they are not going to block here. Well, I'm still, of course, attacking. I have to attack, but they are not gonna block. I have a free activation for one of the Kamis. I'm gonna discard 2, and it's probably gonna be the Gargantua, and it's possible I need to find... Well, all depends on how many things they have that target. Of course, in Constructed you will always easily target this all the time. In Limited it's not that simple. I know I don't kinda need 2 of them, but when I have 2 of them on the battlefield and I draw 3 cards in a turn, I get 2 free activations. I think I will be losing the Serum Visionary here instead. I want to, of course, discard the plains because it's my only white source, if I happen to draw the relevant thing. They are blocking. They will get a card if I target, but they are probably... Okay. Now, does. This puts the land untapped. But it's only if the top card is a land. They don't get to put... Okay, yeah, if they have some interaction that they can cast with the top card of their deck. Good for them. Okay, I got rid of this thing. And I can now play this. I can exile the Nadu, so they can't even get it back. They can play a 3-3, but I can make this guy into a 3-4. Okay, they just played that thing as a 3-3. Okay, well... And land drop, I guess. Well, there's a lot to think about. I don't think I even want to draw 3 and discard 3 now, because of course if I give a counter to this thing, it will draw 3 and discard 3. But I like the cards in my hand, so I'm not going to do that. Which means I'm going to just do this, and I'm gonna go to combat. I'm gonna exile the Nadu. And I'm gonna attack with all these. If they block the vampire, then I will just adapt it. In fact, I will adapt it anyway, even if they don't block it. But I can't do it pre-combat because then they can block this guy. So yeah, this is how it goes. Decline this. Keeping board clear here now. Also, I'm at 32, so I might just use the commies to win the game here. Okay, that's a really good one. This is actually gonna be a... that's a sad thing. Of course, at 4 mana they could have had a 4-4 or something, but they actually were able to double spell here, giving the 4-4. But I guess I can attack with the... So I can actually attack with 3 in the air. Am I gonna be lucky with drawing an untapped land? That would be the perfect thing here. Because if I do this adapt now... I guess they go to... If they don't block with the Watchdog, they will go to 4. And if they jump block with this, that's great. So I think it's worth it now. Just... adapting this pre-combat, of course. This way I can get the flyer in here, and now I can just do this. Let's exile this thing as well. Come on. I don't have anything to target my stuff. If I attack with this, they will just eat it with the 4-4, and then they will... I don't want them to eat it. Because... Okay, that's great news, because this would have just grown more and more because of the proliferating. If one or more counters... Oh, they have another. So... They have the random rare that's extremely good with that thing, but... Justice prevails, and I actually top decked this exact thing here. Alright. Still not gonna draw 3 and discard 3, because I would just discard the stuff I got there. Now that they are at 5, as long as they don't get life gain, I think I'll just win with the commies. Because I'm at 35, it takes a lot of time for them to kill me. Okay, yeah, how many... It doesn't take that long time when they get that kind of stuff. Ooh. So, I'm of course just attacking. I know I will lose this, but I can play this post-combat, and yeah, this is the way to go. I'm gonna of course not draw and discard. I need to find a land here. So discard 3. As good as these are, maybe they are just not necessary right now. I'm not actually sure if I need the island here, because that leaves me the Eviscerator's insight up, but I'm not even sure I need it. Okay, let's do it like this. And oh yeah, third one. Visionary. Visionary. So now I can activate this thing for free, and it also is a Death Toucher that I can use to, you know, block the Hydra if they don't have removal spell. Sadly, they're at 3, not at 2, which means that one activation isn't going to be enough, but I'm not dying in 2 turns. Even if they have removal on this thing, I'm not gonna die in 2 turns, hopefully. It's gonna buy a lot of time for me if I can just trade with the Hydra. I will still get trampled a bunch, but I think this is safer. I just hope that the Hydra will actually die. Yeah, the branching evolution is doing some work for them now. Can't still cast this. I don't have a colorless for the green. The thing I am supposed to do here is actually just play the Shadow Spinner, and that allows me to have, you know, the synergy with the Conscription and the Kami here. But they have 4 cards in their hand. Let's see what's that gonna be. Okay, so they are going to now draw. Okay, you can pause and read what it does, but they basically get an extra card and untap everything each of their turns. Okay, well that can actually exile the Shadow of the Second Sun. I think I need to do it. At the beginning of entire player's post-combat main phase. So I'm gonna put a stop to their combat, right? I'm not going to attack now, because then they will trade with it, and if I play this I don't have mana to do the other stuff, so no attacks right now. And how do I... is this like a... How do I stop in their combat? Well, let's see. I think this should be easy-ish. Maybe I should just do it in their upkeep. Okay, fine, let's do it in their upkeep. The reason I want to destroy this or exile this is that I think I win the long game. I know I could have done something like exile the Evangel and make them jump block with this Visionary, which I might have done if they had an empty hand, but any kind of interaction would just make that game plan fail. Now it's in exile. I don't even need to play it myself necessarily. I'm just happy to, you know, decline them the opportunity to benefit from it. And now I'll just wait until I get my synergy here. I'm gonna get a big Conscription. Witness is gonna get the Nyxburn Hydra back. Alright, so hard mode engaged once again. But it's all about them having... Are they not gonna take the Hydra? Do they need a land? That's the only other option. I guess the Fate... Oh, well, they don't have mana. Okay, they chose a land instead, which is very... Oh, because it's a triggered ability. No, Wait a minute, how does it work? Oh no, I forgot to proliferate. Yeah, but they still didn't take the Hydra. Okay, I don't understand what's going on anymore. What a difference it makes that they have 3 and not 2 life. There is at least a color, a colorless mana for the Faithful Watchdog. Because of course the point now is that I'm going to just play them. I'm gonna play this post combat. Are they gonna have a counter spell? Well, I'm still attacking here, getting 2 life. One of these is not needed. So this can be discarded, and I guess this can be discarded too. So this is gonna happen. No interaction yet. And now it's basically if they can kill this Kami, I don't think I can win the game. So I might as well play the Watchdog just to have more blockers in here. Yeah, because I can use colorless mana to use as any color, thanks to the effect this creates. Yeah. So much of that. How can I deal 1 extra? There's still a way if I get I'm pretty sure I have the thing that, the aura that makes my guy fly. So I have like 2 turns here. I'm gonna take here now. Yeah, I need the aura that makes my guy fly. I can cast this because I can use this for blue thanks to the effect. So I cannot block here because I need to have a flyer in here. I mean a guy to potentially fly over them. They don't have anything that can block a flyer. But they are winning the game at 1 life if I don't get the... This freaking top deck, 1 out of 15. Thank you. Insane. But I mean, it was a 1 out of 15 chance. That happens every once in 15 times. Alright. So, again, I'm happy to not have a stupid Eldrazi deck played against me, but the Branching Evolution now seems like it's definitely something that's good in this deck. This is usually not a card when I see it in a draft that I feel like I need to pick it and make a deck around it. But I guess if you have if you have multiple Watchdogs, and they did have at least 2, and of course bunch of Adapt, the Hydras, where is it? In Exile, I guess. Well, somewhere in their hand it is. Yeah, you can do some very nice work with this thing. It is a card that by itself doesn't do anything. You have to use 3 mana and it doesn't affect the board immediately. But the longer the game goes, the more benefit you get from this thing. But let's actually focus on sideboarding. But there's not much to sideboard, nothing to counter with this thing really. Trigger the abilities. I mean, you can counter an Adapt's trigger about getting something back, but it's not really worth using a card. So let's just use the same deck. Alright, this is a good hand with a 2-drop. Potentially 2-drop. I have both colors now. I mean, this is not a 2-drop, but a thing I can do on turn 2 if they have like a Watchdog. Oh, they have a Divider of Destiny. Do they have colorless mana? So first of all, they can, fix their upkeep, their deck for a better start in the game. But also, that is a 7 mana card that requires 2 colorless. How easily... I mean, in the previous game, I don't recall seeing that many ways to make colorless mana. But anyway, this thing will exile a permanent, that's one or more colors when they eventually get to cast it, or hopefully they never get to cast it. Okay, I'll pause the recording until they are done. Okay, so they actually exiled all 4. So they exiled a couple of lands, a couple of spells. I don't know what they were digging into, but they didn't want to draw any of these. Maybe they need like a blue producing land. But yeah, this looks at top 4. You may put one of those. Okay, sorry, I actually missed. It is always going to exile 3. You can choose one of them. They didn't want to take any of them. You always have to exile 3 or 4. Right. Okay, let's go. Visionary, not a bad one. A little redundant at this point, but it will be handy later on. Okay, well this is gonna make them... Okay, I'm going to just immediately get rid of it before... I guess I could have respawned with the... Well, maybe it was safer to do it when they are tapped out, but I don't want them to get any extra spawns. That thing is gonna get an island because otherwise they would have, you know, it is a colorless producer. So they would have kept it if they didn't need the island. Right, let's do this and try to do the thing with the conscription. If this has a, I mean, if they have a blocker that can eat this, then I might still want to have a 6/6, but ideally they don't have a blocker that can just eat this. They can also make it utterly insignificant. Alright, well there's the white mana for the Genku. So now that this is not gonna draw any cards, I'm just going to still play the conscription. It's a 3/3 after all. And then I can get the mana for Genku. And hopefully I will find more of these fetch lands. Okay, I have an attack with the 3/3. I do have the Wither and Bloom here, but of course that's not a necessary thing right now. They don't have a 2 colorless for that thing. Ooh, well that's a nice one. So... Well, that's pretty simple. I'm gonna do this, and I'm going to upgrade the Shadow Spinner into something else if they block it. And it will give me a 2/2 Vigilant creature. I think the flyer might be more useful. Let's take a 1/2 flyer. Okay, this can produce 1 colorless. And they have a Signature Slam for that. So much of Genku. They have a colorless producing land, they can actually cast this and exile something. But I think it's still better for me to just let it happen rather than, you know, I could use the appropriation on the Nightshade Dryad, making it more difficult to generate colorless. But I think I'd rather just play the Visionary. I won't play the Spinner here now because it doesn't actually do much when they have a 2/3 Death Toucher here. How about these things? Emperor can do something. I'm not sure if it's good enough. Might be better just to, you know, get my multiple draws. Yeah, I don't think these are really good. Okay, I am going to exile that thing. Another flyer is good. And I can still attack with the 3-3 here. They can't just take the damage forever in there. In their upkeep, I'm supposed to. Do this. No colorless mana yet, yes. That is a difficult one if your deck isn't really kind of designed to produce colorless mana. We can trade here, no reason to. Yeah, I can just do this. Okay. So I can make this into a 4-4, which I kind of want to, because this proliferator will keep this getting bigger, and then I can... Actually, it's my only black mana. Well, I can do the Visionary in that case. Right. Yeah, they won't be taking 4 damage here. So I'm gonna force them to block with this thing. I'm kind of tempted actually to leave this to block the 3-1 with. No, I will have the Visionary there for that purpose. Right, let's do this. I don't want to show them that I have the Visionary, so that's why I decided to not get the information myself either here. About what I'm gonna draw and scry into. Swamp is welcome thing. Okay, that's a good one. This Deceptive Landscape is not going to actually do anything for me. I can already cast this thing because I have the blue here. So this is fine. I have another flyer here to have a faster clock, of course. Okay, there's the evolution. So any creature will give this thing 2 from the proliferation. But they have only one card I don't know about. It is the Hydra. Not great. Because the Hydra has reach. But I can of course use the Dim Inferior here. Yeah, I'll take the 5. I'll take the 5 and I think I'm still in the game. I would say that I am in the game here because this is gonna go back to the deck. Now they can of course just use them. In 2 turns they can use the Bestow and it will give them a huge trampler. So that's a problem. But now I have some interesting options here. Well, I think that rather than... Yeah, I'm gonna play this because this actually gives me the 3 zombies and allows me to do this for free. So I'm gonna do this and hope that they don't draw a colorless producing land. Because then they would be able to cast this thing here. And, you know, kill the Shadow Spinner. Alright, well this is now almost game over because I get to get 2 activations. Yeah, if I discard this, it won't trigger anymore. So I don't really care about this too much. I'm not gonna die, by the way. I'm gonna go to 14, 18. I don't think I'm gonna die. No, I will have 6 toughness too, so yeah. As long as they don't have a counter spell. I think, yeah, I'm gonna play around the flash flyer that counters a spell if they don't pay 1. So I'm gonna put actually the Sneaky Snacker here in the graveyard, even though it won't come back now. I'll get this 3/3 of course too. So now I'm gonna play this first one. And then the second one. With 1 mana for, well, they had nothing. And now they're at 1. Again at 1. And yeah, there's nothing they can do because the next card they're gonna draw is this Nyxbone Hydra, and yes, they can bestow it. Let's say they have a land in their hand that they just didn't want to play because it doesn't produce colorless for this thing. They would have, in that case, 1, 2, 3, 4. This would have to be untapped, so 5 counters, and this makes it 10. This would be 15 Trampler, but of course I have what, 9 toughness and 16 life, so it wouldn't be enough. And then of course I just win when I untap. Alright, that was it, and a trophy run with a pretty darn sweet deck. I don't know if I can draft this deck again. I know these conscriptions usually come late, but these are uncommons. These won't be getting opened at multiples in every draft pod. And yeah, I had a good white splash, but I still was able to, win games without relying on these rares. And I definitely would have wanted to have more 2-drops here, but this was pretty sweet deck, and also even sweeter that I won each of the matches. There were some close ones for sure. But yeah, it's a pretty long video, so I'm going to stop talking now and claim the prize here, and hopefully you enjoyed it as much I did enjoy playing it. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.